Well, good morning, everybody, or whenever the hell you're watching this. If you're brand new to the channel and you're just looking for this story in general and you're like, well, who the hell is this asshole face? Well, do me a favor and be part of the shit dump. That's 2 great sells right away. Subscribe, will you? Hit the button. We're trying to get to 50,000, and we need you to help us out. We got a lot of this stuff to cover. Now, I haven't, some of you know, some of you don't. I was involved with WWE years and years and years and years and years ago. Been a casual viewer over the last couple of years. Was a hardcore fan for a very long time. And I'm always kind of paying attention to seeing what's going on, hearing news about the business in general and the war with AEW or whatever you want to say. And then recently, the news with Stephanie McMahon, that she was stepping down. That was interesting. And people have always been saying, when is Vince stepping back? Well, he is. Now, he's not stepping back necessarily creatively, but he's stepping back and he's stepping down, but maybe not in the circumstance of the way that he always envisions himself doing it. And it's pretty crazy when you hear that Vince is stepping down because of investigation into like hush money. This is from ESPN in general that I'm reading this particular report on. But Vince McMahon is stepping aside. This is from ESPN. Stepping aside from his role as the CEO and chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment due to an investigation into a report that he agreed to pay hush money to a former employee over an alleged affair, the company announced on Friday. WWE said in a release that a special committee of the board is conducting an investigation into alleged misconduct by its chairman and CEO, Vincent McMahon, and John Laurinaitis, head of talent relations, and that, effective immediately, McMahon has voluntarily stepped back from his responsibilities as CEO and chairman of the board until the conclusion of the investigation. McMahon is cooperating with the inquiry, WWE said, and will retain his role and responsibilities related to the WWE's creative content during this period. He's also scheduled to appear on SmackDown, more on this in a second, on Friday. I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the special committee, and I'll do everything to support the investigation. I have also pledged to accept the findings and outcome of the investigation wherever they are, McMahon said in a statement. So, McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, who stepped down recently, is now going to be serving as the interim CEO and the chairwoman, is what WWE said. She had announced last month that she was taking a leave of absence from most of her responsibilities in the organization. She had been serving as the company's chief brand officer. Friday's move follows a Wall Street report Wednesday that McMahon agreed to a secret $3 million settlement with a former employee who was hired as a paralegal in 2019. The separation, I didn't realize it was so recent. The separation agreement, which was signed in January, is meant to prevent the woman from discussing the relationship with McMahon or making disparaging comments about him, according to the Journal. The report, citing documents and the accounts of people familiar with the increase, said an investigation began in April and has uncovered other non-disclosure agreements over the years involving misconduct claims from former employees against McMahon and Laurinaitis. In its release, WWE said no further comment was expected until the investigation was completed. The company did not specify the allegations against McMahon, and WWE also said the company and special committee would work with an independent third party to perform a comprehensive review of its compliance program. There's a lot here. It's crazy. Really crazy. So there was a report, apparently, or this report in general in 2019, that this is when this all went down. And plus, the thing that is striking to me is that there's apparently a lot of these agreements. It's bad. Now, in typical McMahon form, he's going on SmackDown tonight. That's going to be a high-rated episode, clearly. I don't know how smart that is. The question is he going to make this a storyline? I mean, he's done it in the past. He's done things in the past like this that have, been part of the real life stuff and then turned it into a storyline overall, maybe explaining why he's got to step down or whatever it might be. But he's going to be doing all these creative decisions still. What it seems to me, what he's doing is basically going, it's fine, we'll figure out the investigation itself, and then I'll come back, I'll step down. Legal's telling him you got to step down for a little bit. You can't be in the public. You got to, while the investigation's going on, you got to step back, and he's probably just following the steps. He's a stubborn gentleman. And he's going to, and this does not look good at all. He's been, he's a married man. And it seems like this has happened often, and he's paying people off left and right. Not great. Stephanie taking over is an interesting part because she was stepping down and said she wanted to spend more time with her family and do all that. Now, whether or not that was just PR, because the rumors were that she was pushed out. Now, I don't know how true that is, but the rumors that she was pushed out. So now that, like, hey, we need you to take over, because they didn't go to Shane, they didn't go to Triple H, they went to Stephanie to take over. And the question is Vince just really in the public eye, I'm stepping down, but yet just kind of running it through Stephanie? Legally, I don't know if he's allowed to do that, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't really follow by the rules. It's the creative side of it that I think people, when you hear this, there's a lot of nobody can deny creatively what Vince McMahon has done for the wrestling business all the years, and single-handedly kind of shaped the wrestling business during the 80s when he took it over from his dad and basically eliminated the territory business and the way that worked, and he created this global business, and you can't deny that. But a lot of people, and especially when you see fans talk about it, happens to everybody. A lot of people just kind of lose their step as they get older, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I happen to feel like he doesn't have that same type of thing he had 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I think that the product to me is just not as good as it used to be. When I tune into it, it doesn't hold my attention, doesn't get me back. Wrestling was always able to get me back when I watched. I was like, okay, I've taken a little break, and what's the storyline? So this is interesting. They got me. And I wonder, not in this type of scenario, but if it's time for Vince to ultimately step down in general, this could be a lead for that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is, it just seems when a dude with this much money, I mean, the steroid thing went away eventually. It was always there in people talking about it, but it went away. I think this will go away. I think he's going to be running the company until the day he dies. I might be wrong. Maybe the investigation finds more stuff out and more things, and he's forced to sell, because that ultimately is something people think that he could do also, is that he might just sell the company off. I don't know. I'm not sure. Where do you guys stand on it? I'm curious to what you think. Would love to get your thoughts on it. If you're brand new to the channel, once again, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. A lot of stuff, a lot of news that we cover over here. And yeah, that's it, man. Very interesting story. All right. Thanks for joining me. Leave your comments. I want to hear it. I respond to a lot of comments, so I want to get into some conversation. All right. Peace.